What's good, YouTube? I won't keep you guys too long. I had a pretty good little video request from a Patreon supporter. First off, happy holidays for you guys and for the people that celebrate. Hope you guys enjoy yourselves and enjoy your Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. Hope you guys enjoy it. But today's topic, what we got today is my Patreon supporter wanted to know about management, as far as having a manager versus not having a manager, self management, and then hiring a manager. So I'm gonna kind of go over that topic today. I'll keep it very brief. So it originally started off. He asked me how did I know what to do with contracts, dealing with artists and things of that nature. How did I begin learning what I know? So I went on to tell him that the way that I was able to educate myself on the information that I know about you know um, the music world and everything is because I basically took on a mentor. I took on a manager that was more advanced than me in music theory or the knowledge of music and really put me on game and pretty much took me under his wing. His name is Joe. He was my manager for many years. I still keep in contact with him. His management company is called Common Sense. Um, Pretty much Joe was like a older brother kind of mentor to me. I think when I met Joe, he was probably in his early 30s, and I had just turned maybe like 19 or 20, something like that. So Joe's not too much older than me. So it was kind of like, talking with the older brother. But Joe had gone to school for music management and how to collect royalties and how the music world worked. I forget the exact degree that he went for, that what it's called, but he was vast. He had a vast knowledge of information on how this music stuff works, and he's the one that kind of guided me and still gives me helps and pointers to this day. So you got two different scenarios that you could be in. You could have a manager, and you could have do your own management, right? There's pros and cons to both. Personally, I think my setup of how I was with Joe and it was more of a hybrid setup. So I would do the things I wanted to do. I would get Joe's input. Joe would help me out, and then we'd come together and formulate a plan together. But ultimately, whatever I wanted to do, Joe was 100% for. Even if he disagreed with it, or if he thought it wasn't the best option, or if he had a better, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was 100% for whatever I wanted to do. He would just give me all the options and all the information, and I appreciate that to the fullest, to be honest with you. So getting started, first off, most people ask about managers because everybody in the initial stages, for whatever reason, hires or has a friend as a home or a homeboy as their manager. I think that's probably the worst thing you could absolutely do, because that homeboy or that friend or that manager, they don't have the proper skills or the proper knowledge or know how to read contracts, how to interact, how to conduct themselves in a business type of setting, and how to talk with people that are outside of the music underground spectrum, like not the direct people, but the people that's above them. So if I'm dealing with the label, I need somebody that doesn't know how to talk to the artist. I might need somebody that knows how to talk to that artist management or their management team or their HR department, whatever it is, or their A&R department. So that it's good to have somebody that is like that. So if you have a friend that's like that, cool, it works out great. But if you don't, just putting your best friend in that position is not going to work out the best for you. And I see it happen all the time where artists claim that they have a manager, and it's not really a manager. It's just really a friend that, I don't know, just DMs people for them essentially. Like they really serve no real purpose when you do that. A manager's job is to manage you, is to manage whatever you've got going on. So if you get presented with a contract, you're like, look, this is a 10-page contract. I don't know what any of this stuff means or how it reads or anything like that. Hey, manager, can you read this for me? And that's how Joe and I would do it. People would send me things. I'd be like, Joe, I don't understand this. I don't know what's going on here. Can we go line for line and read this thing and figure this out? And so we would do that, and that's literally how I learned the information. Is just basically Joe held my hand the whole step of the way of showing me how to actually, conduct business. And that's that. I like I said, I appreciate him greatly for it. So you can go that route of having a manager, having a management. There's even management companies that are like they're geared towards music management. You literally pay them a yearly fee, monthly fee, however you work it out, and you pay them. They work over things for you, and for a small percentage or a small fee. Sometimes they charge you directly, or sometimes it's just a fee. I would prefer if you're or not a fee, but sometimes it's like a percentage royalty thing. If you're going to keep that manager for a while, maybe the royalty percentage thing works a little bit better for you, and maybe the manager would like that as well. But if it's something that you're just going to you would rather just come out of pocket and pay the expense for, I think that's probably a really good idea as well, because now you're just paying for a service. It's like every time I need you, I pay for it. When I don't need you, I don't pay for it. However, the only flip side of that, if I'm continuously paying and it's more of like a management service type of deal, at that point, like you're always on call. So if I have any type of issue, I can, reach out at any point in time and I don't have to come out of pocket or something of that nature. But I highly suggest, unless you have an educated, well informed, educated friend or something like that, or somebody close to you, I highly suggest you find a real deal professional manager, whether it be you go through a company and you get one, you get introduced to by one, or even simply asking the label or whoever is contacting you if they have any management services. Now the thing with that is, if you're asking, say Interscope is soliciting to you and you want to get a manager and you say, hey, do you guys have managers for me? That may not be the best manager for you, simply because they're in cahoots with the label with who you're working with, but they also may be able to do things for you because they are in cahoots with the label. That is a lot easier for them. So there's pros and cons to even that, having a manager. But so having somebody that's like a non-biased outside of being solely dedicated to you, or I guess for lack of a better term, solely dedicated to you or the label, is somebody that is kind of like a third party that's just like, hey, yeah, as long as the check's coming, I'm going to work on your behalf as best as I can. I don't care about the label because I'm not tied in with the label. I care about what's going on with you because you're my client that pays me, right? And I've actually dealt with like an entertainment lawyer and things of that nature. And the downside to that is they look at you like you're a dollar amount. Like they're just like, all right, let me get my check, get my money. Here you go. Here's the information. Boom, go. Run with it. Whereas if you have somebody that's kind of on call, on tap, somebody that you deal with consistently, like I was dealing with Joe, that works out a little bit differently because I can always call Joe. We can always interact, and it's a little bit more personal. And Joe and I were actually really cool. We are good friends, right? So it just kind of depends. You got pros and cons to even within just having a manager, how you want to do that. Now, the next thing you can do is self management. Now, if you are willing to sit there, take the time, and get the books, watch the videos, gain the knowledge and information, and learn it for yourself, all that there is, to be honest with you, the greatest point, because then you can do everything yourself. There's nobody that you have to pay. You literally just read your contracts for yourself. You run through it. You highlight the things that you may have issues with or things that you want to change or talk about, that type of deal. So when you have a manager, you have the option and the availability to, all right, a label sends you a contract, you look at it, you're your manager, like, we don't like these terms. Let's fix this, let's redo that, let's change this, and boom, this is the contract that we're happy with, and you send it back to the label. You can do that. I've done that several times with Joe. But now, if you don't have a manager at all whatsoever, you don't know what you're doing, they're just going to hand you a contract and just hope you sign it. And that contract is 9 times out of 10 built to be in favor of the person giving the contract, not the person receiving the contract. A good contract is going to read and feel like it's a 50-50 contract. Like, okay, they're giving me X, Y, and Z, and I got to give them X, Y, and Z. I feel like that's a pretty fair, balanced trade off. I'm giving them 10 songs. They're giving me promotion and publicity for my 10 songs. Boom. Not I'm giving them 20 songs and they're giving me a promotion and publicity for 5 of the songs. You see what I'm saying? Like, it depends on how the contract is structured, set up, even down to percentages and all that stuff. You're going to want somebody that's educated and has a really good understanding of how this works to read that to you, explain it to you, so you have an understanding. Or if you are going to do self management, have the education to know, hey, I understand this. I know how to read it. I know what this is saying. And if you're not aware, don't be afraid to reach out to somebody, even if you got to set up a consultation with a music lawyer or a manager just for like a one-time thing. Be like, hey, can you read this to me, explain it to me, help me construct something that to give back to my the label that's reaching out to me or whoever I'm working with. That way, I have better understanding what's going on here. I think ultimately, to retain the most amount of money, you doing it by yourself is the best. Obviously, to get the best results quickly and faster, and a little bit easier, is going to be with a manager, which is why I kind of did the hybrid version of, I wanted to know, step by step what was going on when Joe was doing these things and working these deals and contacting people for me and doing all the stuff for me. I'd want to know how that all worked. That way, if anything ever happened between Joe and I, or if Joe decided, hey, I'm out the game, I'm done, then I still know how to move forward from here, which is ultimately what happened. It ended up getting to a point to where, hey, I'm kind of doing this differently. I want to do my own thing. Joe's like, hey, all right, cool. I'm getting out of this whole thing too. So I'm not going to be as active. I got X, Y, and Z going on in my personal life and other things. But I had the education from years and years of dealing with Joe, talking to him, interacting, And again, he's still on tap. I can call him and ask a question. Hey Joe, what do you think of this? Um, but it's there's pros and cons to both. It's not, one is not better than the other. I don't believe. I think a good combination of the two is ultimately the best, because you need to have some sort of idea of how this thing works, and how you can kind of maneuver. It's kind of like if you're a race car driver, right? And you got a pit crew that works on the car, but you have no idea how to do anything to the car. All you know how to do is hop in it, crank it up, and start driving. That's not, you might be the greatest driver in the world, but that's not good, because what if you're in a pinch and they need you to just do something as simple as inflate a tire, rotate a tire, change something, you know what I mean? Like, you'd want to know how, have some piece of knowledge, some bit of knowledge to know how to do something on your own, or be able to kind of work things out. Because what if you're presented with the opportunity or option or something at this point in time to where you need to make a decision right then and there or quickly, but your manager's not available there? You'd want to have some type of education to know, all right, this is a good idea, this isn't a good idea, or how to take that information and spew it back out to your manager properly. Just different things like that. So that's kind of the difference of having a manager and then, or hiring a management company versus doing it on your own. Doing it on your own, you're obviously going to retain more of the residual income, and you're also going to learn a lot more, but it's going to take a lot more work. But also too, on the other end, you can spend a little money. You won't get as much information, personal knowledge, but you can feel a little bit better in the decisions you may be making over on this side, just because you have somebody that has more education than you. However, that can also go twofold, where if somebody has more education than you, they may find a way to kind of finesse and finagle it better for the manager's benefit and at your expense. So you got to be very cautious and careful if you want to allow people into your inner circle, how to navigate and interact with certain people, and how to pick and choose who to deal with and who not to deal with. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much it. That's really all I got for you guys today. I wanted to keep this short and simple. I know it's the holidays. You guys got a lot going on. I got a lot going on too. That's why this video is so much later in the day than it normally would be. But that's really about it, guys, man. I just want to keep this short and simple. I appreciate all the love and support. Continue to show me that love and support, and I'll continue to make these videos. It's been good so far. I've really enjoyed it. So if you guys got any more questions, throw them in the comment section. If you got any comments, throw them in the comment section. Whatever you guys are feeling or thinking, let me know. Or whatever you think of the videos, how you liking the videos. Let's just, give me some feedback and some information. That way I know how to continue and move forward with these videos. Right now, I've just been answering Patreon questions and doing the tutorials. And, you guys have seen what I've been doing. But I appreciate the love and support, and I hope that continues. Follow me on all my social media, Milan Makes Beats. If I got it, you'll find me. If I don't, you won't. And that's really about it, guys. That's all I got for you guys today. I'm just trying to, like I said, keep it short and simple. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike if you dislike it. Either which way, just interact with the video so that the algorithm begins to work in my favor. So that's all I got for you guys, and we'll go from here. We'll catch you, tune in next week. All right, peace.